Hello, boys and girls. Hello, Nate from
Hello,
Whisky
sir.
Wine Hustle. How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I'm about to be better.
Exactly.
We're just hanging out at Boo's house, right near the coastline in King's Cross in Sydney, Australia. And we are drinking some whiskey and reviewing, talking about it, giving our 2 cents, educating the world, or
All
just
the above.
drinking whiskey on camera. Call it whatever you justify it, however you'd like to justify it. But I have a brand new expression. I believe it's just about to be released, or just has been released, from our good friend
Want me to hold
Crafty
it up?
from. Oh yeah, you can do that. There
Yep.
you go. Here's my sexy assistant. From our good friend, look at this. I'm going to look like I'm holding it in my hands. From our good, oh no, yeah, that won't work. From our good friend Crafty from Craftworks. And this is his new expression, Blue 01. Now, this is one of his independent bottling ranges, which we did notice. He did buy a pile of casks early on while his whiskey was maturing.
Yep.
I'm not 100% sure where this is from. I think I may have heard something about Riverborn, but don't quote me on that. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, Crafty. But I'm really keen to try it. Let's pour some out and get those aromatics flowing. Is that a liberal enough dram for you, or would you like a touch more? I want to save a little for a couple of the other lads. I like to share it around a little. If I get free whiskey, I like to share it around. There's no ABV on this because it's just the front sticker stuck around it.
Yep.
But let's have a chat.
So cool bottle.
Yeah, cool
labeling.
packaging. I should know the story. It looks almost a little Star Wars-esque, don't you think? I've been a little bit...
Like family oriented there, or at least the people that have been involved in it.
Yeah, for sure. Someone with a hat too. That isn't me.
There you go.
Oh, well. I'll have
Stay
to
tuned
fix
when
it.
I wear
I'll
the
have
hat.
to fix that. And there is the Vat Man at the end as well. But I assume these are people that have been involved in the production. But that nose is unreal, right?
It's delicious.
And the colour, I don't know if you can fully get that hue. It's this deep, rich mahogany kind of note to it. And, coloration. Couple of whiskies in. Rock and roll. Complex but reserved. Do you know what I mean? Like
exactly
it's got
the same.
depth, but it doesn't punch you in the face.
No.
It's like, hold on, take
almost-
a break, take a breath,
It's
and just
almost
sort of ease
a
into
hint
it.
of sweetness, but like I
The
feel like
the sweetness is there 100% with a little bit of that heat and spice, but it's a whiskey you want to take time with,
Exactly.
which is unreal because Craftworks is obviously a newer operation. 3, 4, 5 years, give or take. Can't remember exactly. Sorry, I think it's 2016 they started.
I like
So-
going in blind as well, not knowing how strong it's going to be.
We know nothing about this whiskey, but it does smell of complexity and layers of flavors. Like there's rum-soaked raisins in there. There's stewed
Look at the
cherries
legs too.
and stewed apples in there. There's cinnamon in there. But then
definitely
there's that
cinnamon.
wood smoke almost coming through as well,
Yeah.
which kind of underpins the sweetness that's coming out of everything else and kind of balances it.
Yep. That wood smoke is definitely
See
there.
what I mean? It
Like
just
a
kind of
real
underpins
sweetness
the
to it.
sweetness, which I think is just damn delightful.
Yeah,
So let's
definitely.
drink some. Great. Roll it around for a bit. Keep it there so it can speak to you. So it speaks to your soul.
You get that nice little warmth right across
Oh.
the tongue.
Yeah, right?
Big time. The Kentucky hug, as they would say.
Yeah, totally. So for me, the palate had a lot more
Yeah.
intensity and was a lot bolder than the nose.
Yep,
It was quite
100%.
surprising.
Yep.
And as I'm breathing, and the alcohol's flashing off, I'm starting to salivate a lot, which I really love in whiskey as well. It kind of brings it all on and it's soaking in, but my palate's still adjusting, and we've had a few whiskeys before.
Yeah.
So
It's still
I would
going.
hazard a guess and put my very flimsy reputation on saying I think this is probably bottled at about 50%.
Yeah.
Because I think there's too much heat to be 40 for sure. There's more than 46, but the complexity's there, and the heat still works with the complexity of the whiskey. It doesn't override it.
I was almost going to say, like, I get a little bit of like tingling across the mouth as well. Like it's still going.
You should get that checked out, man.
It's
There's a
amazing.
prescription for that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it's an amazing sensation.
Totally, and I like I talk quite often when it comes to whiskey about that perfect balance between sweet and heat. You don't want too much sweetness, you don't want too much heat, you want to get it right in between. And this is definitely in between sweet and heat.
Yep. Is that
And just a really interesting Aussie whiskey drop. It's not like many other Aussie whiskeys
I haven't
that I've
tried
really
anything
had.
like that
There's a really lovely kind of treacle note to it. Cherries, definitely like stewed apples. I'm getting a lot of that coming through, but it's sort of underpinned with those deeper stone fruit
Yeah,
flavors.
I get a really alcoholic trifle, like a real sweetness, like a deep.
That's
richness.
a great tasting
Yeah.
note. It's so simple. Who needs my wanky tasting notes? That's perfect. Alcoholic trifle.
Yeah.
All
Done.
over. Yeah.
Awesome.
This is the booze the 80s built.
Exactly right. This is going out to my mum.
Speaking of the 80s, I was 80s. I
Yeah,
think
same,
you're 80s. There
definitely.
you go. So, anyway, it's 80s in a bottle. But the label, kind of being Star Wars, it could be a little
like it.
80s with the blue neon. Crafty, another delicious drop. I'm glad you bottled it when you did. This complexity is really working. That extra heat, good call.
Yeah,
I like
I
it.
agree.
You like it.
Sluncher.
If you want to get a bottle, hit up Craftworks Distillery. If you haven't followed him yet, check out Nath from Whiskey Wine Hustle. What's your Insta handle?
Whiskey.wine.hustle.
Whiskey.wine.hustle.
Yep.
And I'm Whiskey Pete. You may have heard of me. If you haven't, well,
You
sorry.
should have.
Yeah, well, sorry to do it to you now. And we'll see you again shortly and we'll drink more booze.
Yep.
Goodbye.